Hey. Good to see you guys. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Can you guys hear me? Test, test, test. Got you. All right. Hey, Double King. My left missed. Robert, Edward, Orlando. Good to see you guys. Terry. Hey. Good to see you, Terry. Okay, so just sort of chilling, hanging out today, working on some of the legendary monsters in the bestiary. And I just got this new piece of sweet art for the Titan of the Deep Woods. So it's not finished yet, but this dude is pretty rad. So there's Titan. And you see this like little thing down here, like that's a building, like that's a house. So like this is a big boy. So some pretty sweet new art from Earl Lan. I just got that fresh off the presses. So the stat block is over here because I think I need to do a little bit of canvas extension on this one, which is not uncommon, so that it doesn't like if I put the stat block here, like you kind of can't tell that it's a Titan. So I want to, so I probably need to like extend the canvas, something like have him at the top of the screen, top of the page, sort of like that, so that you can see like, oh, there's a house and like things for scale, that kind of thing. So a little bit of canvas extension for that shouldn't be too hard. So that's what we're working with right now. Today, what I wanted to do is work on Frostfang, and it's not gonna be level 70, it's gonna be level 10. So I went ahead and added him. So we're doing a Frostfang, the Walking Blizzard, and I have a new. So I worked on the stat block for our Vampire Lord, which is feeling a lot better, and I've commissioned some art for this guy, so that should be ready here pretty soon. And then I've commissioned art for this, and it's going to be a 2-page spread for this art. And I got a name for her, so I think we're gonna cook on this one a little bit. The name of the level 20 solo world-ending threat, sort of like a demigod type of situation, really powerful, spicy thing. Her name is Karis, the Hollow Star, which I think is a pretty sweet. Earl Lan, Lan. Some small edits would be nice as well to make the Titan stand out. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that kind of stuff is fairly easy to do. This was sort of a first draft that we got, but yeah, he's the Titan of the Deep Woods. He's really cool. He's quite unique, and I've got some new legendary resistance updates for you guys. So we're not bringing back legendary resistance, but a lot of people, myself included, did like the cool mechanics of like having this weakness that could be exploited and different cool things happen. So I want to show you what I come up with that. So he has Splintering Legions, bludgeoning damage or critical hits, bludgeoning damage or crits from any source, cause his bones to splinter off and animate, forming a D10 minion. So whenever you hit him with a bludgeoning weapon, or punch him or whatever, or whenever he suffers a crit, he summons a D10 minion, which I think feels super duper cool. Brittle Bones, he's resistant to piercing and vulnerable to bludgeoning damage. So you kind of want to deal bludgeoning damage to him, but if you take advantage of that weakness, then he's going to be summoning many more minions, which I think is pretty cool. He doesn't have a bloodied state since he is he's a skeleton, and I think thematically that kind of works. But he does have a last stand, Shattered Legion. At 0 hit points, he collapses into 4 skeleton minions per hero. So if there's 5 heroes, they have to now fight 20 D10-sized minions in order to win. And if they run away, if they can't defeat all the skeletons, then they reassemble back into the skeleton. So that is sort of his cool last thing that he does. So let me show you some of the cool, so like for Nalzar, Apex Predator, and I did some canvas extensions on some of these as well. So curious to get your guys' thoughts on some of these sort of faux legendary resistance type of things. So a lot of the creatures have like a cool weakness that can be taken advantage of. But if taken advantage of, the heroes suffer a setback as well. So it's a setback for the monster as well as for the heroes, or like something that sort of needs to be worked around. So just like the regular monsters up here, just like the regular monsters have sort of a thematic ability, each one of the legendary monsters also sort of has this ability as well. So Nelzar has Tail Swipe. When dealt slashing or lightning damage, she may knock a hero prone within 15 feet. So like with her tail. And then Torn Wings. Each slashing critical hit reduces her wing buffet save by DC by 1. So you can exploit this weakness like slashing her wounds, like her wings. So one of her big attacks is wing buffet, and if her wings get slashed and sliced, then it makes sense that you'd be able to withstand the wind a lot more easily, right? So this is something you can take advantage of. But if you take advantage of it, then you might get knocked prone. Like you might do this kind of thing. So there's like spellcasters can take advantage of this as well. Um, because a lot of the wind spells deal slashing damage. So, and then so her wing buffet attack, it's like sort of like a weak powered like cone attack, but that basically knocks prone. Okay, but then her very big her big single target attack, Devour, can only target prone creatures, but it deals like just a truckload damage, 4d12 plus 6 damage at level 6. It's a whole ton of damage. So her whole thing is moving around. So she's flying around. She's trying to get 2 or 3, maybe 4 different heroes in the wing buffet zone. Knock one down, and then her next turn she's going to move, and then her next turn she's going to smack them hard. She's going to smack them real hard. And then when she's bloodied, her DC increases by 2, and the range is increased as well. And then when she's dying, she can set it up more quickly. She can move and then use one of her other actions. So she can move and wing buffet and then move and devour. So every turn she's doing this. Melif Mist, hey, yeah, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I know you don't get these often. I've gotten exactly 2. They've both been from you. You definitely don't need to do that, but I very much appreciate it. I like your work and passion. I know how every bit counts. All the best. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that encouragement. So yeah, this is gonna be a super duper fun fight. Like each legendary fight is going to feel very very different. And like why lightning damage? Well, so that other classes can sort of enjoy some of these things more as well. So that like you don't just always do the same thing all the time. So, also, I was sort of thinking of Pokemon resistances and weaknesses of resistance. Flying Pokemon are weak to lightning. So there you go, bam bam. So this guy doesn't like lightning. Very cool last stand, says Edward. Yep. Terry Tipke, that's awesome. Every single one of these have got to be such a fun fight. I haven't seen a boring HP bag. Yeah, no, even the regular monsters are not just bags of hit points. Double King says, I've been meaning to ask, how do you see minions working in the legendary turn order? Do they act immediately, or they'll have the same spot in the turn order? So I think it would depend. Generally, minions act last. So I might leave that up to the GM. So like sometimes there is advice. So like this one, this one when she's blooded, she summons this many spiderlings, and then they act next. So like wherever this is around the table in the initiative order, like after Brandon, like they always act after Brandon in the initiative order. And then same for these, like they act immediately. So if the fight is super duper hard, maybe hold it till the end of the round or the beginning of the next round or whatever. If the fight's a lot harder, there's or a lot easier. If it's harder for the legendary monster, then let them act immediately. So it's sort of a thing the GM can use to tweak the difficulty. The sooner minions act, the harder it's going to be. The later they act, then the easier it'll be. I hope that answers your question. Leave a like and help. And Nimble. Oh yeah. Leave a like. Help. Let's get some more people in here. All right. Okay. So that is how that would work. So yeah, each one of them is really going to be feeling, I think, pretty substantially different than all the others. So I'm not sure if, so one other thing that I'm thinking, I'm not sure if this legendary monster is going to stay. I don't know if this is going to make the final cut. If it does, then I'll have to make one additional one just for an even page count, because I moved this one, Frostfang, this blizzard, the walking blizzard, this icy dragon to the main book rather than having it as a just as like a splash page. And then the splash page for Legendary Monsters is this weird time dragon here. That feels sort of appropriately legendary. So, what I want to do today, type A for Murray. So what I want to do today, I want to cook up some cool ideas for Karis the Hollow Star. This is going to be like the biggest, baddest, hardest fight, and I want it to be something that I'm not even sure is possible for a fairly well-tuned level 20 party. That's a challenge level that I want to have. And the reason is because a long time ago I played Zelda, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And man, I love that game. I love that game so much. And like there were just certain creatures that were just so hard to fight. What are those big dudes with the legs and they shoot arrows at you and stuff? They charge at you. Leonins or something like that. So there was those big dudes. Like certain fights were just like way too hard. But the interesting thing is like when I did all the side quests and probably not all of them. I did a bunch of the side quests and just I had so much fun. Lionels, yeah, those dudes are nasty. Um, yeah, thank you guys. So I enjoyed that game so much. And then like one day I was like, I feel like I've been sort of playing this for long enough. I'm probably strong enough. I didn't get everything. I didn't unlock all the little seeds and hearts and staminas and stuff. I figured, hey, let me go try to fight Ganon in the castle and see if I can beat him. And I did. Like I went to the castle, I beat him, and like from that point on, like I was like, oh, I beat the game. I beat the hardest guy. There's not really anything else for me to do in this game, so I turned it off, and I wasn't really interested in playing the game anymore. So like I want something to be so hard that like you can technically win. It's not gonna have a bajillion hit points or whatever. You can technically win, but I want it to be something to like really reach for, right? So that's the goal for this because whenever I beat the Secret Super Boss, so whenever I beat the final boss in some game, even if it's one of those like open world games where you can like technically keep playing, I just don't really I just don't really find it that much fun any longer. Uh, like we're terrors for the whole game. Double King says there were some legendaries that I thought had choose two, or all actions had a move. Yeah, so each legendary monster is different, just so that they like people can't just like get it like right away. And this is another layout that I've been playing with, sort of a 2-column layout. I think makes sense. So for this one, it is choose one. So this one does have a move and attacks, like a move and a single attack, or if you're already in position, it's 2 attacks. So this one does have that. Other monsters. So like this guy, after each hero's turn, choose one. He can make one big move, so move 40 feet and a small attack, or one small move and a bigger attack. So this is the crossbow. So different ones have, the Broodmother, she has choose twice. So each one is a little bit different. Still simple for the GM to run, but just a little bit different so that it's not like, oh, he gets to move and attack. Yeah, so yeah, a 2-column light looks nice. Yeah, I like that. It feels pretty nice to look at. Like, so here's his actions and here's his special things he gets later. Yeah, kind of like that. And a lot of it is just like how long are his abilities, and like this one might work, but it looks like these 2 abilities would probably be a bit longer than this one, so the 2-column layout might not work. And the 2-column layout saved us a good bit of vertical space. And I was able to put this extra little background in for Grimbeak since he felt a little bit naked, just standing out like in a white white room. So throughout, the legendary monsters have been have the numbers have been tweaked. The different things have been made a bit more interesting. But I think let's start with Frostfang, the Walking Blizzard. Let's start with this guy because we have. Let me show you. I say we, but I have this. So one of the guys that's been helping me is Trakairos, He's been on hanging out with us here every once in a while. But one of the guys who's been helping me, he provided a cool, rough first concept for this, and I want to show you what it looks like when I get things from writers, and then I'm going to show you like how things end up looking. So Frostfang the Walking Blizzard. So the name is just super cool. The name is super duper cool. And yeah, we need to change this to huge ice dragon, heavy armor, saves all. And I'm just gonna punch in the rough numbers real quick. So he's level 10, heavy armor, so 215 hit points, just so we don't have to worry about that. And I'm gonna change it to 220 since he's a dragon. So the chart says 215. Dragon's just a little bit above. Love tiebreakers. I would love to remain in Nimble. Yeah. So I would need to come up with a design for him and for another creature, and I have to get an art for another creature. And then they have to be tested and balanced, and then there's another page in the book. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll probably be able to find a place for the art at least, but at a certain point, I do need to say like, yeah, we have a bunch of like if we can you guys see? If I scooch, can I scooch this over? Yeah, I can scooch this over. Can I scooch over further? It's like over here, it's like the legendary monsters start here, right? So we've got like a good number of legendary monsters already. It's like all of those are legendary monsters. So like from like here, up here really, and a legendary monster builder, and then like those two, those two, those two, those two, those two, maybe these two, these two, these two, these two, and then like one big final one. So like that's already a lot. So we'll see. I was just about a joke. Ricardo, we need you to come in and chat. Give Evan free game design. No, yeah, he's been paid. He's been paid, but yeah, he's if he wants to come, he's definitely welcome to come. How's your page count for room tracking expectations? I didn't really have. Oh, let me scooch this all back. I didn't really have a whole lot of like set expectations. It was just sort of. I can just move this up so you guys can see more of more thing. You guys don't need to see the toolbars and stuff. I didn't really have expectations so much as like guesses. So I was hoping it is our Archangel plane. Not currently. I don't have art for one. So I was hoping that it would be like less intimidating than a book like this, like maybe like yay big. Like this is like a whole adventure, so like that's okay. I was hoping for it to be like each one of the books to be like you like oh, okay, that's not so bad. Like something you can hand to someone and say like, oh, this isn't too scary. That kind of, I mean, like even though like that picture is scary, like the size of it isn't too scary. Whereas like this is a cool book. Like this is a Lord of the Rings book, but this is like like twice as big as this one, so it's twice as big, and like 3 or 4 times as thick. So like, as much as I like Lord of the Rings, my wife is watching Lord of the Rings in the other room. Like as much as I like Lord of the Rings, am I ever gonna read all of this? Oh, it's a tall ask. It's a tall ask. I don't want Nimble to be like another one of the games. Like here I've got Old School Essentials, Old School Advanced, Blades in the Dark, Shadow Dark. I've got like a bunch of games, and like over here there's like just shelves full of like different settings and adventures and games that are just sitting. I know I'll probably never play or read most of them. I might like scan through them for like inspiration or whatever, but because they're so long, I'll like they're prohibitively long for someone like me with kids or like a job. You had great ideas for Not Yeah, let's show you Not real quick because you guys were here. So he has a name. He's no longer Not He is now Alaric Dragoth, the Crimson Count. How cool is that name? Alaric Dragoth, the Crimson Count. He has a Sanguine Cloak. Once per turn, he's going to deal 1d12 necrotic damage whenever he is attacked, and that attack is reduced by this amount. And that's once per turn, so it's not super OP. Yeah. So that said, like Terry Mjorkborg, I think it's Mjorkborg. It's hard. It's short, but it's like hard to read, and like that's kind of the point. I think they brag on their promo stuff that like it is so sharp that it like stabs your eyeballs. So like this is not just a splash art page. This is actually like the page that tells you how much damage weapons deal. A flail deals a D8. A Zweihander is a D10. A crossbow is a D8. So like that's how crazy it is. And like I think down here it says Zweihander. So yeah, that so it's a bit of an interesting like look at this. Like super duper cool. Like I'm pretty sure it's won like super tons of awards and stuff. People way more talented than me. Alaric Dragoth is a great name. Yeah, I like it. The Crimson Count. And then his second ability is Sunscorn. Vulnerable to Radiant. After taking Radiant damage, use Beguile as a reaction, and they roll with disadvantage. So his actions, after each hero's turn, choose one. He uses Ebon Fang. It's going to be like a cool black blade, like real thin, slender blade. And I found a really, really good artist, you guys, for the art for him as well as for the Hollow Star. He can first he's gonna fly 40 feet or swap places with a bat minion. Then deal 1d10 plus 15 damage. On hit, target is considered bloodied until healed. Or he can summon blood bats for each bloodied hero. Summon 2 blood bats. And I think this is probably going to be so. I want I want everything to be as easy as possible for the GM to run. So like when in doubt, just do the top one. And if the top one doesn't apply, and then do the next one, then do the next one, and like the last one is like the one you would do last. You would actually do last. So I think I'm going to do this. It's like Beguile is the one that you would do last. Summon blood bats is probably what he wants to do most. He wants to like hang back and summon blood bats, right? So you would see this first. So let's go to a simpler stat block real quick, just so you can sort of see how this works in theory. So actions, Savage Screech. This is like her Grimbeak's like big like one use ability. So the first thing she wants to do is she's going to Savage Screech. Creatures within 90 feet take 2d6 psychic. So it's an AoE psychic thing. And psychic damage can't be blocked. And they're frightened for 1 round. Okay, so like this is her big thing. She wants to use this first. If she's not using that, she wants to use this. If she's not using that, she wants to do this. Like that. Does that make sense? So like she can use this just automatically. She can use this only if she's next to someone, right? And then this one, if she's not next to someone, and if this isn't available, and if she's not next to someone, then she can move and attack for 2d6 damage. And maybe it should say melee attack. I don't know. I don't know if that's necessary because it's like, what is she shooting? Right? I don't know. So that's the idea. Not only the abilities, how they're written should be easy, the order that they're written in should be easy to run as well. Let's go back down to the Crimson Count. So probably summoning blood bats, just summoning a bunch of blood bats is going to be beckon and bite coming before Beguile fills Beguile. Yeah, I'll think about it. I'm sort of thinking it through live. Joe, hey, Scullivan. Anthony, I assume Alaric is a legally distinctive variant of Strahd. It's just like a vampire boy. Just a vampire dude. I think he's technically harder than Strahd. I think Strahd is balanced to be like a level 11 encounter. But with the spreadsheet, you can the legendary monster builder, you can make him level 11 fairly easily. But people are asking for a vampire boy. You can copy him over to make it different. Yeah. Yeah, last stream, I think we like on stream we read Strahd's stat block. That's hard to say. And like most of the stuff didn't really like most of the things. Milkborg versus Lord of the Rings book, way more digestible. Yeah. If he's fighting constructs, says Snazzy Bear, the blood bats are clockwork bats instead. They'd be like oil bats, because like they have oil or whatever. I don't know. As soon as beguiled, you want to beckon them if they aren't in display. Yeah, yeah. So this is a level 16 solo monster, so it's gonna have a little bit more complication than like a simpler monster. But comparing this to let me see. Ooh. Comparing this to, I'm just copying and pasting his stat block just so we can sort of get an apples to apples comparison. So yes, it's a level 16 solo encounter, and it's got some things going on. So this is Strahd's, like a comparable stat block, and so this isn't even all of it. I couldn't even fit it into two scrolls of my screen. Yeah, so like I think we're doing okay. I think we're doing okay. Could we make it better? Probably, but you know, how it is already is I think a good bit better. And if we were actually scaling this to be like 1-to-1, like the actual same size, like the same font size, it would probably be similar, closer to like this. So like 2 whole spreads. So this would take up. It would take up 2 pages, more than 2 pages. Okay. So some of them blood bats, for each bloody hero, summon 2 blood bats. Okay, so I would read that and I'm like, okay. So let's put our hat of first time GM. Like I'm running this, I haven't read this ahead of time. Sanguine cloak once per turn, I can do this. Okay, cool. Vulnerable to radiant, and then something happens when I take radiant damage. I'll read that later. And then, okay, after each of his turn, choose one. Okay, cool. I'm gonna be able, each time I take an action, I'm gonna choose one of these. This is bloodied and last stand. I don't need to read that yet. So summon blood bats. For each bloodied hero, summon 2 blood bats. Okay. So I care about spreading damage around. That's the first thing I know. I care about spreading damage around. I want to bloody multiple different heroes rather than like burning one player down. So damaging all the heroes is much more dramatic also than just like burning one hero down. Okay, so first thing that I note, I do a thing when I'm attacked. All right, I'll worry about that in a second. But I want to spread my damage around. All right. Second, fly 40 feet. Okay, so he flies. Or swap plays with a bat minion. Okay, so I already know what bat minions are. I already know what this is talking about. Then deal this much damage on hit. Target is considered bloodied. Okay. So I don't even need to be dropping people below half hit points. I just want to hit this guy, hit this guy, hit this guy. So the beginning of this fight is going to be me hit. Like I want to hit all the heroes once. Okay, and they're not going to really understand why am I doing that. And then like on my 4th turn, like the end of the first round, like I've hit each of the heroes once, summon a bunch of bats. Okay, so reading just the first 2 abilities, like I know how I want to run this tactically. Okay, let's see what makes it more than just like hit, summon a bats, hit, summon a bunch of bats. Okay. Beckon and bite. Ooh, okay, so he's a vampire. 1 beguiled creature. I don't know what that is yet. So maybe beguile needs to be up here. Spends a reaction moving toward you and is then bitten. 40 necrotic damage. And it might not be 40. It might be like a roll because rolling dice is cool. But also, like, they're beguiled. They're letting you do this. You know how much damage is going to do. Like, just like 40. Like, feels pretty good. 40, and maybe it should be like unpreventable necrotic damage. 40 unpreventable necrotic damage. That feels nasty. 1 wound and ends the beguile. Um, Alaric's next Ebonfang attack uses a D20 instead. Ooh, okay. So he juices himself up off of this. And then, so how do I beguile someone? Beguile. Fly up to 40 feet. One hero is beguiled on a failed DC 18 will save. Well, why would I want to move before I do this? You can roll, so they would have to roll with disadvantage if you're adjacent to them. Like you're right next to them, like looming over them, spooking them real good. So yeah, there you go. So reading through this in this order, like, sort of makes sense. I might move this up to here. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. And then bloodied, and then he does like other things. Like it doesn't get more complicated. He just gets like more survivability things and deals more damage. So even as complicated as this is, I would be able to run this even if I was pushed, like super harried, super busy, like my attention's split. I think I could run this fairly easily just reading it for the first time. Like as I'm reading it, as I'm running it. I think I could do that. So that is Alaric. And then when he's bloodied, he does gain mist form, so he's no longer vulnerable to radiant. So he's changed form, so it makes sense that he's no longer vulnerable to radiant. Then once per round, he can use his bat decoy, so it lowers the incoming damage for him. And then last stand, so people have to be sort of wise, smart about. And so it's similar to a like a legendary resistance type of thing. So he can like sacrifice one of his little bat boys to take the damage for him. And then last stand, 160 more damage. He dies. Until then, he and his bats roll d20s when they attack. Ooh, okay. So the bats get empowered. So up until this point, he's only rolling d10s. And then at last stand, he's only rolling d20s. So again, it's super simple. There's only one die size that you need to worry about running this entire creature, which I really love. I kind of hate having to swap back and forth between 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 different kinds of dice, like when I'm running monsters. It's just one more thing that I have to keep track of. Okay, so that is how Vampire Boy worked out. Okay, so I actually haven't. So Trek sent me this like a couple of months ago. I haven't actually read the whole thing. I saw this. And it's like make some sort of ice wall or something, cold damage plus ice wall. I was like, ooh, that's cool. So let's read through this together. How are you guys hanging? You guys hanging in there? Can you still hear me? You doing all right? We're still alive. Okay. Frostfang, the Walking Blizzard, level X, solo, huge ice dragon, X HP, heavy armor, saves all plus. Okay. Yep. So all of that makes sense. Abilities, Blizzard Aura. Ooh, I like that. So let me just show you what I thought his ability could be. Icy Veins. Whenever he is crit, adjacent creatures get frozen. It's like you cut him real deep and then like he lets this ice. Edward's hanging in there. All right, cool. When you guys go quiet on me for a while, I start thinking that my internet's down or you guys can't hear me or something. Terry says, one die says, aren't you technically using 1d10 and 1d20? For this guy. So when he is not bloodied, it's 1d10, and then when he during his last stand is d20s. I mean with this, yes, it is technically 2. So it's a d10 or d20. So yes, technically, but so this guy uses those 2 dice, and you'd be using that anyway in 5e. You'd be rolling the d20 to see if you hit, and then the d10 to see how much damage you do. But largely, like typically when he's attacking, it's d10s. And then there's this one exception, or these 2 exceptions when he can roll a d20 for his minions and himself. So like at first, what I was gonna do was like this attack deals this many dice, and then his minions are this many dice, and then this other thing is this many dice, and then I just started thinking like, couldn't we just tweak the numbers so that it's just all one? And I think we could. Enjoy seeing your thought process. Cool. Yeah, good question, Terry. And yeah, that's fair. Pedro P, the last stand for Alaric, the minions become D20 minions, or they just attack with D20s. That's the same thing. So minions, they just die whenever they take any damage. So the only thing about minions is their die size. When they attack, they roll a D20. So a D20 minion attacks with their D20. I hope that answers your question. Using the system, I can make a legendary monster in a 5 to 10 minute break at the table. Yeah, you definitely could. And there's a bunch of abilities. Did I put a bunch of abilities here? I think I did. No, the regular monsters have a bunch of abilities that you can cook with. So like these are flavorful monster abilities, and you could definitely use a few of these for legendary monsters as well. So you guys feel free to grab a screenshot of that if you want. All right, let's do what we came here to do. Could make it 2d10 for your real commit. I like the idea. Yeah, that would probably make more sense, Scullivin, and maybe I'll end up doing that. But like, I like the the terror that is inflicted when you're rolling a d20 for damage. There's just a certain level of intimidation that happens when you're rolling d20s for damage. And yeah, actually, probably 2d10 would just technically be better mechanically and damage wise. I don't know. Whenever I can get d20s for damage, like I kind of like doing that. It's just a weird thing that I have. But yeah, you're probably not wrong, because you do still want him to miss a little bit, and you do still want the risk of him critting. So yeah, so maybe he'll just change to 2d10 whenever he'd roll a d10, he rolled 2 instead, which is still pretty nasty. Okay, Blizzard Aura. So what we have was Icy Veins freeze adjacent creatures whenever Frostfang is crit, basically daze, -1 action. So it wouldn't make sense to call it daze, but calling it freeze, -1 action. Cool, that makes sense. So the cheat, he's critting all the time, and he lets off a bunch of icy blood or whatever. I think that's pretty sweet. And look at this art. Like this art is super duper cool. I really like Justin Gerard. I don't know if his name is Justin Gerard or Justin Gerard. I think it's Justin Gerard. I really like his art. Blizzard Aura. So let's see what Trek came up with. Blizzard Aura. Creatures without cold resistance or immunity within 5 spaces have their movement halved. That's kind of cool. Legendary resistance. So he's using the framework that I was using previously about, they have a certain number of legendary resistances, and then they have some cool drawback. On use, the dragon can't fly for 1 round. That makes sense. So probably creatures just won't have cold resistances or immunity, probably, unless it's like some story thing, like here, eat this cold plant. It'll give you cold resistance for a minute. That kind of thing might be cool. Yeah, difficult terrain is definitely something that could be a thing. Blizzard, I like that. Actions after you choose one. Dragon flies up 10 spaces, and initially when I was developing Nimble, it was spaces, rather than like so many feet, because counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is easier than counting 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, or 25. Like is 30 feet 5 or 6 spaces? Like that's kind of hard to remember. It's 5 spaces, and it feels weird. So initially it was spaces, but just to maintain that 5e compatibility, it was changed back to feet. The dragon flies up 10 spaces or walks up 5 space. Okay. Ice Breath, 1 use. Creatures in a 10 square cone take some amount of cold damage or half on a dex strength save. That makes sense. Yeah, strength save. This creates a wall of ice on the side of the cone opposite the dragon. It is up to 10 spaces long and 2 spaces thick. Okay, so like this is very much a 5e kind of thing. Like the wall of ice having hit points and the thickness, and immune to this kind of damage. So very much a 5e thing. I think we use that idea in like Streamline. I do like the idea of him making like walls of ice. That's pretty cool. Like you can like wall off certain you can cut the party in half. Like maybe instead of like a wall of ice like at the end, it's like instead of a wall of ice here, and then instead of a cone, it could be like a line. So like and or like you can put a wall of ice anywhere within the cone or something like that. So like if 3 of the party members are here and 2 are here, you cut them off from each other. I think that's kind of cool. Walls immune to cold and vulnerable to fire. Creatures in the wall. Push once. Yeah, okay. So that is very much 5e language. And it's like you can't fault it for not being clear. It is super clear, but again, it's that like to walk, push your feet off the ground with your muscles and gravity and that kind of stuff. So I think some of these things could just be intuited rather than like bite. He opens his mouth and with his sharp teeth, he clamps down with a certain amount of pascals of pressure or whatever, newtons of force. Bite, piercing damage. If damaged, the target is restrained by a block of ice, which can be destroyed. Ooh, okay. That's kind of cool. So I don't know if it makes sense to like when you bite it, they're iced. Maybe like that's what the ice breath does. So maybe instead of a wall, like you encase with ice. That's pretty sweet. That's kind of cool. And the bite could maybe make you have disadvantage on your strength saves. It can impose like frostbite. Ooh, frostbite. Oh, frostbite is the name of the ability. And it would be 2 words because I think frostbite, like when your like feet get yucky, is 1 word. I think frostbite. Yeah. So the skin injury is 1 word, but this is a frostbite. I like it. All right, let's keep reading. It's like when a writer's helping me with this, like I only needed to get like half of the way there, like a third of the way, or like just part of the way, and then like we can start cooking and come up with some cool ideas. D20 is as damage is like, yeah, we're using the big boy dice now. It might be 3 damage, but it might be 20. Yeah. I was like quests that lead up to big monsters though that allow the players to get an advantage, so that Blizzard or is a good thing for a party to prep for. Yeah, that is kind of cool. Which reminds me, will there be advice about how to use a different size die in the GM guide? When to use 2d10 versus 1d20 would be very helpful for the non-mathematically minded folks. So the recommendation, if you're cooking up your own monsters, the recommendation is for legendary monsters. Actually, so there isn't a there's not a recommendation for of die sizes just because like I don't want to overwhelm with data, and I might remove it from the regular monsters as well. But for the regular monsters to get sidetracked just slightly, the recommendation is D4, D6, and then like D8. So like when in doubt, use a D6 or D8. Like they're good middle dice. They're going to miss with enough regularity to make the combat encounter spicy. They're going to crit with enough regularity to add a little bit of spice, but they're not going to be as swingy as a D4 or as consistent as a D12. So like D6, D8 is sort of the recommended thing. But like the damage is provided, you can just sort of roll whatever dice that you want. And if you don't have time to look it up, you can just like use these. So that said, there are flavor differences. So goblins use D6s, bandits use D8s. Like it makes sense that humans would be more reliably able to hit than like some crazy chaotic goblins, and then some like tiny little kobolds, right? But that said, the undead, they use D4, right? They use D4s, and generally the undead have like very big like additional numbers. Like giant zombies D4 plus 14. Like it swings really really slow. It's going to be fairly easy to dodge out of the way of, but if it hits, it's dealing a lot of damage. Like I don't know if that kind of stuff helps. But so rather than explicitly saying this or that, I'm sort of giving you the guidance in the stat blocks themselves. So because undead are like slow and kind of dumb, they're easy to dodge, but like sometimes they could just like knock your block off, right? Is that an okay thing to say? I don't know. Sometimes they can hit you real hard. So if that kind of advice would be super helpful, maybe I can maybe I can do that. Something like what you just explained about die sizes with that reasoning would be great to have in print. Maybe let's add a little note. If that's kind of thing that like if we have space, we can definitely add that. Let's add that here. And maybe that could be like if I had like just a little bit more space, on either one of these pages, I could see myself adding that. I'm gonna add that tentatively, but like if there's not a good space where it makes sense, then we might have to skip it. I don't know. I'll see. Okay. Sorry for the quick scrolling. I know it's like a big crash pan. Okay, so Frostbite. I like it. Hero gains Frostbite. Gains Frostbite. One word. that might be too cute, too clever. Just a thought. Yeah. Malphimus says, wasn't there a table with average damage dice for dice type of damage? Yes, yeah. Terry says, I know this isn't going to land with you, Evan, I bet, but it reminds me of Maze Ice Wall to split the party from Overwatch. Increases focus fire. Maze Ice Wall. I don't know what that is. May Ice Wall. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, kind of like that. I learned so much from you guys. Yeah, that kind of thing. I like the idea of splitting the party. Because they have to figure out how to get over it. Like you can't hit opposed. There's an ice wall there. Yep. Just thought I'll ask a home brewer to write it for me if it doesn't make it into the book. I mean, you could just write down what I just said, or listen to it again. Space Marine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's great feedback. So all of the dragons have. So all the dragons have. So like for instance, this boy is broken. So I'm still sort of mid format on a lot of these. So this guy has a bite. So each dragon, when it bites you, it gives some condition. So his bite inflicts cruelty's gift, which makes them vulnerable to necrotic damage until they receive any amount of healing. Replacing his legendary resistances and that kind of thing, he has Aura of Rot. So creatures within 30 feet take 5 necrotic damage at the start of the turn. So cruelty's gift combos with that. So all of a sudden you're gonna be taking 10 necrotic damage. Yeah. And then when he fails a saving throw, his Aura of Rot is suppressed, and it might not be when he fails a save. It's gonna be something else. This one was actually, this is one that I was in the middle of designing when Gloom, and I'm gonna just change it right now, so don't forget to change it. It might be like when he takes a certain amount of this kind of damage or that kind of damage. I'm trying to spread out the different damage types. So some are like bludgeoning, some are slashing, some are piercing, like as it makes sense. So that like you're rewarded for having that kind of thing. And like radiant would be the obvious thing, but like there's already a couple of creatures that are sort of vulnerable to radiant. So yeah, I'm not sure what this one might be. So it might be like when he takes 20 or more damage at one time, or something that the heroes could do, but not like so reliably where it's always turned off. So I don't know. Let's go back to Frostbite. So hero gain GANS Frostbite. Cold damage until they take. So, and just because of like the flavor, like it makes sense. Okay, magical healing can end this condition. That makes sense. Or until they take fire damage, that also makes sense, and it gives them just like a little cool little thing to sort of figure out if they want to. And will that stay? Maybe, maybe not, but it might. Rot, swamp, plant sort of vibe. Yeah, fire against that guy. That would make sense. Like this aura of rot, like maybe it's just like this like miasmatic type of like vapor in the air that is like explosive, or like propane. Like he just exudes propane or something, and fire explodes. That kind of thing would be cool. When he when he takes fire damage, I know. Exploded. Double King. Oh. Same Dark. Hey, thanks for hanging out, man. Good, but I'm please Double King. That's a smart person I could think. Yeah, Double King's great. He's a great guy. I have to go to sleep 2 more hours before I wake up for work. Oh, rough, man. Hope you're able to get some sleep. Yeah, you can't threaten Double King with help because he'll help you. Okay, so I think we've got a pretty cool bite attack. Breath weapon, ice wall, divide party, question mark. Oh no, or encase in ice. So the encase in ice thing, you have to be a little bit careful with because we want to make sure that he's equally as challenging for different party sizes. So if you have a party of say 3 people and one of them is encased in ice, then that's 1/3 of the party is out. And like you also have to be careful of like, you know, what does it mean to be encased in ice and all that sort of stuff. Like, does it mean you're petrified until someone freezes you? Like, I'm not sure. Like that doesn't feel very nimbly, very fun. But like, let's just say like you're encased in an ice block until someone like, you know, smacks it and like you're set free. So if it was something like that and you have a party of 3 people, that's 1/3 of your damage, 1/3 of the party's out. If you have a party of 5 people, like all of a sudden, this ice encasement thing is like way less good. If you have 10 people in your party, the ice block is basically like a useless ability, right? So we need to make sure that it's something that scales. So I think it's probably not going to be that. So maybe the frost bite will just be that. So it's not going to be encased in ice. It's probably going to be ice wall. It's going to be ice wall. Yeah, so just think it through out loud does sort of help. What about -1 action when frozen? Yeah, it'd probably be something like that. -1 action until frozen. So that might be what frostbite does. Inflicted with frostbite. And then we can set this as an ability. There you go. Hero is inflicted with frostbite. Cool. All right, let's check. Let's check and see what the damage is supposed to be. He's a level 10. And I love how I can just look up how much damage it's supposed to be. It's supposed to deal 34 damage. So this is a dragon. It should not be missing 25% of the time. It should probably be a D10 or D12. A D10 feels about right. D10 feels about right. 10 foot. Oh, that's a long neck. That's gonna be a 15-foot reach. 15-foot reach. Let's go to our friend dice.run. And I'll go ahead and I'll open it up so you guys can. Dice.run. OBS. Do this. Properties. Change this. Do Brave. Dice.run. Okay. Turn on. Turn on. There we go. Scooch down. Okay. So we got dice.run. We want it to be 34 damage. Ooh, this is like right there already. So, whatever this is. So we don't want to roll too many d10. So let's say 2d10. It's going to be 14 damage. It's going to be 11 damage. So 2d10 plus 20. That's easy enough to add. 31. We want it to be 34 damage. Yeah, that feels about right. 2d10. 2d10 plus 20 damage. I don't know that we need them to be vulnerable to cold damage. Let's do -1 action. -1 action. So the debuff is pretty cool. Frostbite. Let's leave it in. Let's leave it in just for now, just so we can like keep the idea. Let's just keep it in for now, and I'm just gonna make this wider so I don't have to worry about the layout just yet. Okay, we'll keep the. What a guy that was past Evan. Okay, so it should be 34 for his big attack, but because it inflicts this debuff, let's move, let's hide that. So because it inflicts a debuff, we can like take it down just a little bit. Vulnerability, cold damage. -1 action. So the concern that I have with like adding vulnerability cold damage is that if I say 2d10 plus 20, then I have to clarify 2d10 PI 2d10 piercing plus 20 cold damage. So I have to add just like a couple of words, and that's what my hesitation is. Case and ice, tail swipe, extra damage against a frozen target in the condition. That's kind of cool. So like, what if it was instead of like any magical healing? So some ideas that I'm thinking, or move at least 50 feet in 1 turn. So like if like the idea like you run a lot to like to like get the cold, like to like shake off the cold, that kind of thing. It's like different cool thematic ways. Like if you're like cold, you get up and you start running around, it warms you up, that kind of thing. Like maybe that, and I'll add a question mark here, some question marks, just so as to remind me that like this isn't done cooking yet. Two d10 piercing plus 20 cold damage, and inflicted with frostbite. -1 action frozen, not too punishable. Debuff. Tail swipe, says Paul. Extra damage against frozen target. That's cool. Keeps your blood pumping and stay warm. Love the update to legendary stat blocks. Yeah, I really like the. All right, so over here, let me show you guys this. So over here, I don't know if can you guys see this? It's a little bit small, but I have legendary stat block. This is the style for just like the basic text, and then there's bullets for his different actions. Then there's ability and ability B, which is like frostbite, and then here is legendary monster weakness. So that is like this, like protect master. Ooh, protect master. Whenever Vale would fail a save or take 20 or more damage, he may sacrifice Bane, his spirit companion. And then he spends his next turn moving and resummoning Bane. So this is a Shepherd of Death. So this is like one of the classes that has its own legendary monster. So like that is his weakness, sort of legendary thing. So I do want to have some cool weakness here that thematically makes sense, like something they could take advantage of. And this is a May, so it's not like they can just like stun lock them. That is definitely a May. Let's see. Let's keep reading. And this is the golem protection unit, protection golem. So let's get rid of that just so we can focus. Ice breath. Creates a wall of ice, so we read that in bite. XDX. Piercing damage. If damage, the target is restrained by a block of ice, which can be destroyed. Hit points, blah, blah, blah. Claw, cold damage. think claw would deal cold damage. Maybe it would. Cold claws. These are like really super frozen. Tail, bludgeoning damage if the target is pushed. If it was restrained by a block of ice, the block of ice is shattered and any remaining hit points it had. Oh, that's clever. That is so clever. So the however many hit points the block of ice had is how much extra damage the tail swipe does. It's kind of cool. Bloodied regains frost breath. Last stand regains frost breath. That's fine. But it seems a little bit too straightforward, I think. Okay. So we've got a move, move and CLAW, move and claw. So like, why else would you move except to like move and claw? So this is going to be his small attack, which is going to deal 17 damage. So it's going to be 17 damage. 1d. I think it's gonna be like 1d10 plus 10. 1d10 plus 10 plus 10 cold damage. Reach his turn. Choose one. Oop, put it in the wrong spot. Move and claw. Then reach. Oh, moved it to 2 lines. Okay, so moving claw, tiebreaker, not tiebreaker. This is the old step block, Frostfang. Frostfang can fly up to 60 feet, then deal 1d10 slashing plus 10 cold damage, 10 foot reach. Let's move this. Then 10 foot reach, deal. Okay, that makes more sense. That reads more clearly. Female human. Hope you aren't an EST getting late. Female human. It's a great name. It's a great name. Frostbite. So it inflicts this breath weapon. I feel like he needs like one more cool attack. Tail. Swipe. Deals double damage to a frostbitten character? Question mark. I feel like a cold thing should do cooler stuff than just like, I don't know. Feels like we could do cooler stuff than this. Let's look around for some inspiration, you guys. Let's bring out the dead. Let's see if this works. Disc. Ooh, nice. All right, so let's move this away. Turn that on. We've got this. What monster book are we gonna look at? Let's try a good one that I haven't looked at in a while. Oh, let's look at the Tales of the Valiant. If you guys don't have the Tales of the Valiant thing, it's pretty cool book. The monsters are much more well balanced in it than probably any of the 5e books. Let's look at their dragon boys. They probably got some cool dragons. Let's start with the white dragon, because that's probably where we're gonna land. There's a bunch of pages of dragons. Silver void. Ooh, look at that, guys. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Do we need to zoom in a little bit? There we go. He's an AoE. Yep. The breath weapon can probably be the AoE. Breath weapon could probably be the AoE. Ancient white dragon. I like the horns. I don't know about the horn on the shoulder. That's a little bit weird. Horns here are kind of cool though. Might make it hard to bite stuff though. Okay, Ice Walk, you can blah, 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 move, choose Numbing Chill. I like that. While when the white dragon hasn't unleashed its cold breath. Oh, what a clever idea, Kobold Press. When the white dragon hasn't unleashed its cold breath, the cold builds up within it and ripples outward from it. Oh, how neat. How neat, how neat. Oh, something that we did forget was Blizzard Aura. Maybe he can, maybe the Blizzard Aura. I think the Blizzard Aura is something that we can, oh, you guys can't see what I'm typing. There you go. Blizzard Aura. So maybe we can make the Blizzard Aura like something that turns on when he's bloodied. I think that's kind of cool. Frostfang is dying, and then at level 10, what is his last 10 hit points? 100. 100 more damage, and she dies. Until then, something happens. Breath weapon is going to be AoE. AoE. Ice wall, something or another. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but there we go. Hey, yeah, research time. Yeah. Yeah, we just sort of need some inspiration. We're not going to need an AoE. Okay. So I like this. So like some reason to keep the breath weapon rather than just like that be the first thing you do. When the Light Dragon hasn't unleashed Cold Breath, cold builds up, ripples out from it. While the dragon's cold breath is available, it emits a numbing chill, and each creature that starts to store within 30 feet of the dragon must succeed on a DC 22 con save, or its speed is halved. That's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I like that. Multi-attack, bite, some damage, tail, damage. Frightful presence. I don't think we need that. Like, is a dragon like any like less frightful than like let's just is the dragon like any? I would almost rather fight the dragon than like whatever this thing is, or like this guy, or like any of the like. Well, that's a dragon. Like, is a dragon any less or any more scary than like this thing? Like, if he doesn't have a frightful presence, and this guy doesn't have a frightful presence, then why should all dragons just by default have that? I think it's a fine option, like if they're like if fear is like their particular thing, but I don't know if that should just be like a default like dragon thing. It doesn't feel particularly dragony, unless you're like Smaug or something, you know. Maybe that's just me. Okay, frightful presence, whatever. Cold breath, icy blast, just does damage. Okay, so there's nothing cool. So numbing chill is kind of the only cool thing about the white dragon here. This would be a little bit of a disappointing attack. Ooh, elemental roar. That sounds neat. Roars, two creatures, each target. Okay, so they roar and they're vulnerable to cold damage. I don't see how that makes sense. That doesn't make sense. That is a big flavor fail. How about using that held cold breath concept to affect those with frostbite already, or give everything in X area frostbite? The walking blizzard needs a powerful aura. Yeah, Frostfang the walking blizzard. He sure does. He sure does. Okay. Let's see if there's any like so the monsters in here so far have been, and this is the thing that I bookmarked here with my little sticky note, because I've been running some tests using their 5e balance, because their balance is really tight. So as far as balance, they're really balanced, but a little bit disappointed with their dragon design. A little bit disappointed. So let's see if there's any other cool Ooh, a frost giant. Let's look at the frost giant. Maybe that would be a little bit cooler. 187. No, I get, like, I'm sure if the designers at Kobold Press are like very, very good. So I'm sure that like if they weren't constrained so tightly to the 5e thing, then like they would probably design some like incredibly cool things. But like there's like a 5e dragon has to sort of work a certain way. Just another inspiration could use something to do with sparkling, reflective, blinding stuff. Ooh, that's cool. Sparkly, reflecty, blindy. Yeah. Um, tail swipe. If I feel like he would probably like look like his tail. Like let's use the art as inspiration. Like he's sort of regal in his tail. I don't know. It's not like one of those big, strong, chunky tails. So I don't know that he needs a tail swipe. Maybe reflecty, icy, blindy thing. Cool. Yeah, I like that. That's kind of cool. Snowblind, yeah. Snowblind. That's a cool name too. Snowblind. Frost giant. So like each one of the legendary monsters like takes roughly a day. just so you know. Okay, frost giant. Let's see. You guys can see that, okay, right? Ice walk. You can move. Snow sight. I guess that's fine. Ice boulder. Avalanche. Here we go. Frost giant sends out a wave of snow in a 30-foot cone. Each creature takes damage. A success, a creature that takes half the damage is buried. A buried creature is restrained and unable to breathe or stand up. Ooh. A creature, including the buried creature, can take its action to free the buried creature by succeeding on a DC 60. Ooh, buried. Buried. That is cool. So maybe, I'm typing in the wrong thing. So maybe the breath weapon, instead of ice wall, buried in snow. That's kind of cool. Restrained. I kind of like that. That feels like something. Hey, JP, walking or flying blizzard. Hey, exactly. He can walk, he can fly. He's a double threat. Cool. Yeah. Everybody, JP and I were talking about doing some cool stuff with his book. Definitely check out his campaign if you guys haven't already. We might be able to cook up something cool to make it even easier. As easy it is, we might be able to make it even easier to run with Nimble, which I think is pretty cool. This is too bright. Okay, so the frost giant here. Let's see if you guys can see it, even if I don't have that light on, because that light was too bright. No, I need that light on. I don't have a cool setup like JP has. Okay, so that is a cool idea. So avalanche. So he does his frost breath, and it makes sense that like it would like he exhales snow and this and this. He's the walking blizzard. Blah, blah, like he spits the blizzard out. That's pretty cool. I like that. And then they can either escape the restraint by fire damage or like spinning a certain amount of movement or like a strength or dex save. Like you can give them a few extra ways to escape the restraint. That's cool. I like that. New mechanics. Bonus action, Wintry Blast. A blast of wintry air extends in a 30-foot line. Blah, blah, blah. Speed is halved. Oh, petrified. Interesting. Can't wait to combine Nimble and Dragontown. Oh, I'm running Dragontown. Absolutely. It looks like too much fun. And there are days where like whether or not we play D&D that night, and like I still call it D&D no matter what I play. Whether or not we play D&D that night, it was like if I had prepped that night session by like Wednesday or Thursday, if not, because we usually play on Friday nights. If not, like, all right, sorry guys, I'm too busy. I don't have time to be prepping. It's like whenever I'm playing whenever I'm playing. So like we were playing Strixhaven, which is like a really cool, like a cool campaign, but man, it has taken just an incredible amount of work to get it into a playable state. But with Dragontown, since I've already got the book out, with Dragontown, like I could spend 15 minutes like running this. Like probably the first chapter might take 20 minutes. First chapter might take 20 minutes, but every other chapter after that is probably just going to take me 15 minutes to prep. So yeah, I'm gonna be running this, and I'm making a thing just for myself to make the monsters, so I don't even have to think about like how to work the monsters, and JP and I might make that available for other people. Cool. Okay, so Wintry Blast. So petrifying creatures is a cool idea. Speed is halved. A creature that fails but the save by 5 or more. I like that mechanic. Failing a save by a lot makes you petrified. That's kind of cool. That is cool. That is cool. That is cool. Okay, so let's go back to here. So the degrees of success and that kind of thing is something that that I haven't implemented a lot, but we could. We definitely could. Breath weapon. If you fail by 5 or more, petrified until blah blah blah. That's kind of cool. I like that. So that makes it very scary. So this guy's damage. So I'm gonna make myself a note here. This guy's damage. That note was not big enough. Damage lower than average. Control higher. So this is going to be a control fight. So his damage is lower than average. This is just sort of in my mind. So as we're looking at this, so he's level 10. So his attack damage, so 34. So his big attack damage is actually like 30. So like 10, 12% less than what's expected, and his small. So he's doing less damage on average, but he's gonna be able to like control a lot better. So maybe we need to give him just medium armor so that he's not like a slog. That's something that we'll have to test. Yeah, let's give him medium armor. I'm gonna give him medium armor instead of heavy, but I'm gonna keep his hit points pegged to where it would be if he had heavy armor. I think that's pretty sweet. Because he uses his ice and his abilities and other things to protect himself. I like that. I think that's pretty sweet. Fire damage lowers his armor. That might be cool. That might be cool, Paul. I was thinking, so rather than just fire damage, because I want the marshals to do cool stuff too, so like bludgeoning or fire damage, like triggers weakness, like that kind of thing. Ooh, yeah, maybe that's what it is. I see armor. I see armor. Fire or fire or bludgeoning critical hits reduces armor to medium. That's kind of cool. Because it's icy and you can shatter it. That makes sense, right? And then maybe something, and when this happens, icy veins, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Something like that. That's kind of cool. See, Double King. Thanks for hanging out, man. Always need more ways to inflict petrification besides some usual stone inflicting stuff. And yeah, so this petrification would be, and you can escape by doing this and this and this. So he wouldn't summon minions, but like his quote unquote minions would be like these blocks of ice that your buddies are encased in that you need to attack. That's pretty spicy. Yep. Yep. And so we can change it back here. Yeah. It's kind of cool. So he's trying to control different. So like I see this as a fight of like one big dragon. Here's the dragon, and then here's the party, and he's sort of like trying to go around and like freeze different people, and then the party is like trying to go around and like unfreeze their allies, and like that is sort of how this fight will feel. So like imagining how the fight feels, and if it makes sense with the story is a big part of what I'm trying to do. Like how does it feel? Does it feel too similar to the other dragons or the other things? So like that's why I was sort of like hesitant to do the whole like, oh, creatures around him have like, you know, difficult terrain. Like we already have the spider boss who's doing that kind of thing. And would it make sense as a ice dragon to do that? Yes. But can we get across the ice dragon feel in a different way that the spider can't do? I think like freezing people in freezing people in webs, freezing people in blocks of ice, and like, you know, you have to deal 10 damage to like get your boy out of the ice. That kind of thing would be pretty cool. That kind of thing would be cool. And then like while inside the ice, they are immune to damage and other effects, and you know that like maybe I don't mind being like someone can say like no, leave me in the ice for this round because I don't want him to attack me. Like that kind of thing might be pretty cool. Like weird things where the tactics shift. Like normally I only ever cast the spell on enemies, but I might want to cast this spell on my buddy. Normally the mage never really wants to interpose, but maybe the mage does want to interpose for this like this one attack so that he can be frozen and he doesn't take the next attack. Yeah. I love the thought you're putting into it. Definitely not cookie cutter restoring. Yeah. I don't just want to put it like a coat of like white paint on the red dragon, and now he's a white dragon. Like it has to feel very different. But it, you know, the drawback is that it takes time to design it. Okay, so I think that's enough out of. Let's maybe get like 1 or 2 more points of inspiration, and then I think we'll be able to. I think we'll have enough notes to start cooking things together. Ooh, that's nasty. That is yucky. That is yucky. All right, let's see if there's anything else in here that that might give us some inspiration. That's cool art. They definitely got some cool art. I would say like you can tell like the pieces where they spent more money. Like obviously the cover and like this cover is quite solid. But like if you have a budget, like you can't spend all the money on like the most expensive best artist all the time unless you're JP Couvert. Then like you know you know the artist pretty well. But if you're a company like Cobalt Press, you have to pay artists, then you have to prioritize. So some art is definitely better than others. Okay, so we've got. I'm just looking in the. But if you guys are looking for a good monster manual, this is quite a good one as far as balance and numbers and stuff. Astral Destroyer. I don't know what that is, but that does sound cool. Let's just look at Astral Destroyer. 57. That may not be what we're looking for. Yeah. That's how my kids look sometimes. 54. Astral Destroyer. 57. Ooh, look at this dude. Oh, that is cool. I like how their Ankeg is like much more insectile and like green. Like it's much more of a praying man, like a giant praying mantis. Astral Destroyer, aberrant resilience, resistant to things. Blah 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 blah. Sense magic. Multi attack. Damage. Knocked prone. Astral stride. Okay, so like you know, damage things to make things to make 5e like work. Yeah, the colorful art is pretty sweet. GP. Astral Stride. Astral Destroyer magically enters the astral plane or ethereal plane from the material plane or vice versa. Oh, okay. I don't know what that does. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Does he he runs away from the fight? Like how would I do that as a GM? I don't know. Consume Reality. Good name. Really good name. The Astral Destroyer consumes all material. What? CR 18. Okay. So what is that? Like a level 15, level 13, something like that. Consumes all material in a 10-foot cube within 15 feet of it, instantly destroying all non-magical material that is being worn or carried. Okay. And reducing any non-magical items in the area that aren't being worn or carried to 0 hit points. Okay, each creature in the area must make a DC 20 Dex save or take 4d8 force damage. That's it? Oh, I guess it's a bonus action. Okay. Consume Reality. I feel like Consume Reality should be way bigger, way more than 4d8, 18 damage. Have as much if at least one fails a save. The Astral Destroyer. Okay, regains that. Okay. That's kind of cool. So regaining hit points is definitely not what we're doing with. That's not where we're going. But that does give me an idea. Let's scooch these guys back over real quick. Yeah, hit points for objects is weird. Yeah, it is weird. Yeah, you're not wrong. 5e is not written for me and you, JP. It's written for other people. Let's have a look. Okay, so let's say when he's bloodied, maybe his arm reset back to I cannot type heavy. So like his icy veins or icy armor or whatever like resets. We could probably say that better. His breath, weapon, and icy armor recharge. There we go. Well, something like that. We'll fix the wording later. Blizzard Aura, 5e Sleet Storm. I don't know what 5e Sleet Storm is. Is that an actual? Is that a spell? Is that a spell? Let's see. Oh, it's too big. Enlarge, reduce, Sleet Storm, Elemental P. I do like that I knew exactly where to turn in this big book. Blizzard spell. Sleet Storm. 3rd level conjuration. I've never even read this spell. If you were to ask me, is Sleet Storm a 5e spell? I would have said, no, I don't think so. 3rd level. Because, like, why pick this when you can pick Fireball? Let's see. This spell is freezing rain, slate fall, 12-foot cylinder within 40-foot radius. This area is heavily obscured, exposed to flames are doused. That's cool. Difficult terrain. Dex save to fail. So it doesn't deal damage. Is this the right spell that you said? Blizzard Aura. Okay. I mean, it doesn't deal damage, I guess. Dex save or fall prone. Creature concentrating spell. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Breaking concentration. So like there's a lot going on and it's cool, but I feel like this is moving too far in the direction of like fiddly and hard to keep track of and hard to run. For me personally, for me personally. Okay, so Astral Destroyer didn't really have anything, but like this ability that like where he regains hit points made me think of like, oh, we can regain our ability. So like even if it's something that's not like exactly what we're looking for, then we can still cook on it and we can still like get inspired from other things. Okay, Balara, Basilisk, isn't there an Ice Devil? Yeah, Ice Devil. 100, paid 100. Let's see if there's anything cool there. Ice Devil. Whoever this guy is, he did a lot of art in this book. I see that signature a lot. Page 100. The old frisbee head. The old frisbee-headed Ice Devil. Magic resistance. Snow Walk can move across. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Multi-attack claws. Icicle Shard. Icicle Shard does damage. Ice Wall. Here we go. Ice Shield. Let's look at this first. This is probably where things are. Yeah, there's a lot going on in that spell. When the Ice Devil or friendly creature can see it's hit by an attack, the devil can create a magical barrier of ice to disrupt the attack. The target halves the damage from the attack. I don't understand what that means. When the Ice Devil or a friendly creature, okay, when he or an ally is hit by an attack, creates a magical barrier of ice. Oh, okay. So cut the damage of an attack in half as a reaction. Okay, that's cool, I guess. Cut the damage in half. It's a lot of words to say. Cut the damage in half. The Ice Devil causes a wall of ice to magically rise from the ground. The wall is 30 feet long, 2 feet high, 5 thick. It can be any shape as long as its base is connected to the ground. Inverted pyramid. Inverted pyramid. The wall cuts through a creature's space. Blah, 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 blah. The wall, last one. All right. So I'm pretty sure we're not going to go the ice wall direction. I feel like that's too fiddly. But we can just like encase individuals in ice. Okay, so that was a bust. That's okay. Let's see if there's anything else. Dragons. I wonder what a Flender Beast is. 172. 172. Ooh, that's good art here. That is a good dragon. Good dragon. Flender Beast, 172. Let's focus. 172. I like this. I like the cube. But yeah, it's like I don't know how I feel about this green art, and then the transparent. Ooh, it's invisible. You know, can't see it. Like I'm pretty sure I could see that. Sorry. What were you looking for? 172. I like how the art like goes over like the page numbers and stuff a little bit. Like a lot of magic cards will do that. Oh, look, little Flender Beast. This is cool. Small Fae. It's a Fae. Sounds like a Fae's name. Bite, Acid Spit, Breath of Flinders. Aw. That is so cute. The Flender Beast exhales splinters. Aw. Is a Flender a thing? Is that like a Britishism or something? Flender. What is a Flender? Small fragments or splinters. I've never heard that in my life. That is funny. Okay. A Flender is a splinter, you guys. Yeah. Frame break. Oh, yep, frame breaks. Okay, so let's see. Breath of Flinders hails splinters in a 15-foot cone. Each creature in that area must make a dex save or takes piercing damage. Okay. Teleports. That's cool. It's very fey. And then catch snack. Aw, this is like such a charming little stat block. When the Flint Beast is a target a ranged weapon attack, it uses that ammunition. Use an ammunition made mostly of wood, such as an arrow. The Flint Beast can attempt to catch and eat the ammunition. The Flint Beast must. Oh, I love this. Flinder Beast is the best creature in the Tales of the Valiant monster manual. I really like the Flinder Beast. I really like the Flinder Beast. Okay, I think we've probably got enough to go on. Let's go back to here. I think we've probably got enough to go on. If we need to cook a little bit longer, we definitely can. Yeah, Flinder Beast. You guys add the Flinder Beast to your to your campaign if you haven't already. Cute little rascal. You guys are playing Snap. I think I played that once. I was like, oh, cool. It's a game that's available on the Mac. And then I was like, oh, whatever. Or it was available on iPad, and then I like figured out how to get it on the Mac, or I don't know, something like that. Flunder Beast is great. Okay, so let's keep going. So Icy Veins. Okay, so this is how do we want to phrase this? Fire or bludgeon critical hits reduce his armor to medium. Okay, so that's icy armor. Icy armor, icy veins. Cool, we'll do that. Okay. And we can make that his ability, legendary monster ability. We might shift that around a little bit. Okay. So fire bludgeon critical hits reduce his armor to medium. Freeze adjacent creatures and freeze. I feel like so since this is just like a one-time thing. -2 actions might be too much. -1 action. -1 action. I don't want. I want them to be able to play. How do we want to phrase it? Fire or bludgeon critical hits. We'll just say crits since that's a term of art now. Crits. Fire or bludgeoning crits reduce his armor to medium. Then freeze creatures. Freeze creatures within 30 feet. Cool. That makes sense. So this is not an ability now. This is the weakness. So we'll still need some sort of icy aura, AU, or icy aura, something like that. So this is going to be the weakness. So you guys, what do you think? So we can make it like a one-time use thing that recharges, or we can make it a like a regular thing, like vulnerable to fire and bludgeoning damage. But whenever he takes that damage, like adjacent creatures lose an action. Let's think about that. So icy aura. His icy aura. I'm not sure what that could do yet. Creatures with frostbite take X damage. Let's just say 5. Let's just start with 5, then we'll figure it out from there. Maybe we can like add something to frostbite because he's trying to like frostbite people, or I don't know. We'll keep thinking. Okay, moving claw. I feel like this one is perfect. Moving claw is fine. That's sort of the easy one. Let's do his breath weapon because I think that's going to determine a lot of things. So breath weapon. This is going to be one-time use. One-time use breath weapon. Instead of breath weapon, let's call it something cool. Icicle flavor, icicle breath. Less and less. I like it as a weakness, something that makes party fight differently. Yeah. A weakness rather than like a one-time thing is probably what we want to do. Vulnerable to fire and bludgeoning damage. Yeah, instead of reducing his armor, let's say vulnerable vulnerable to fire and bludgeoning damage. Yeah. Then freeze creatures with every minus one action. Okay, I think that's okay. I think that's okay. That's good enough for now. What should his icy aura do? So like, Frostbank knows that he's vulnerable to fire and bludgeoning damage. So basically, a Zephyr, the commander. So if he's vulnerable to fire and bludgeoning damage, it might be too easy for everybody to ignore his heavy armor. It might be too easy for everybody to ignore his heavy armor. So, Blizzard Breath, White Storm, Breath Storm, Frigid Breath. I do like the idea of like Avalanche or Storm. He's the walking blizzard. Maybe instead of Icy Aura, it could be Blizzard Aura. No, when he's blooded, he gets his Blizzard Aura. So like right now, we're at the point where there's like so many options, where I'm not sure like which direction to go. Twin Steel, hey. Okay, so I think his breath weapon. Spew doesn't feel right. Like spew blizzard like that. That's more of like a yucky thing. Like call avalanche feels pretty cool. So let's do a 50-foot cone. 50-foot cone. DC. Let's check our sheet. What should the DC be? The DC is 15. DC 15. Let's do strength save. DC 15 strength. Because it's like to resist the cold, resist the this and this and that. Avalanche is awesome. Yeah. Phantasm. Oh boys, time to update the Nimble homebrew template again. Is there a homebrew template? Send me a link. I'll take a look at it. Yeah, it's never done. I think I remember. I can delete that. Okay. The changes to the template are definitely slowing down. So we've definitely hit our stride. I think you're working toward figuring out the flow of how this would play out and picking the options. Yep. Yeah, we're definitely trying to figure that out. Avalanche expulsion, white expulsion. I think expulsion is more like makes me think of school, like you're expelled from school. I think call avalanche is fine because like this does look like a more delicate dragon, you know, but like he can like rah and call an avalanche, right? And it makes sense that he can do it one time because like there's only so many avalanches. DC 15 strength save. Whoop, what happened? Save. Okay, so this should deal 30-ish damage. So how can we get to 30 damage? Let's turn this back on. How can we get to 30 damage with some D10s? 6D10? It's probably going to be 5D10. 5D10, yep, 5D10. Turn that back off. Go back here. So this is going to be strength save, 5D10 cold damage. Failing by. Okay, so I'm actually going to lower it to 4D10, and I'll tell you why. So I'm going to lower it to 4D10 because, again, the thing I just deleted His damage is going to be below average, but he has control. So it's going to be 4d10. Since it is an AoE, 4d10 cold damage, and restrained on a failed. Uh, 15-foot cone. All right, 40-10 cold damage or restrained, and I will capitalize that, on a failed DC 15 strength save. Okay, okay, this is what I was going to say. So everybody takes the cold damage. Everybody takes it. 40-10 cold damage, everybody just takes that damage. There's nothing you can do about it. And then you're restrained on a failed DC 15 strength save. I think that works. So lower damage but more reliable. And then failing by 5 or more, you are petrified. Not petrified. Let's do frostbite. It's like there is a world. There is a world where everybody fails by 5 or more. And then, well, we're all petrified. Game's over. So I don't want that. I don't want that. Even if it was like the kind of petrified where, like, oh, you just have to deal like X amount of damage until you can do this and this and this. So 5 more frostbite, whatever frostbite ends up being. But that doesn't make sense. Like if you have a weak constitution, you have your low strength, you're like you have inside energy. Yeah, you're more likely to get frostbitten. So call avalanche. This much cold damage, restrained on a failed blah blah save, whatever. That makes sense. Okay, that would happen to my group. That would happen to my group also. Or they would all save and just like nothing happens, which is equally as disappointing. Moving claw, that one is fine. Frost bite. I do like this. Inflicted with frostbite, and I probably need to change. Probably need to change this because I don't want confusion between frostbite, 2 words, and frostbite, 1 word. So I'll just say bite for now. I'll come up with something better if I can later. So 15-foot reach. Yep, that's good. 2d10 piercing plus 20 cold damage. Yep, all that feels perfectly fine. Frostbite. Let's do this just so we'll leave that down there. And inflict with frostbite. So vulnerability to cold damage. Do we need that? I don't think we need that. So yeah, this guy doesn't need the things to soup up his damage. He's a controller. He's an elegant, dainty, controlling dude. Yeah. Should that be the other way around? DC 15 or frostbite, restrained on a fail by 5 or more. Maybe. So everybody takes the damage, and then, so which is harder, to like get stuck in the avalanche or to be too cold to the avalanche? I feel like if you're stuck, you have to be stuck in the avalanche first in order to get frostbite. But if you're able to just like burst out of it, restraint seems like the worst condition. It could be. And I'm going to add a rider of escape Like you can escape the restraint by taking any fire damage or this or that or like whatever. Like there's ways you can escape it. Like basically it's sucking up your actions. And I'll work on the wording later, just so I don't bore you guys like fiddling with words. Bite. So okay, so what does frostbite do? -1 action until they take fire damage or receive magical healing. Let's remove this or receive 15. Like I think so. Like by level 10, 20 or more magical healing. Like some good amount of magical healing. Let's say 15. 15 or more magical healing. Or move at least 15 feet in one turn. 50. Something like that might be cool. -1 action. Ends upon taking fire damage. Move. Maybe it shouldn't be based on like completing a full move. Spinning 1 action moving. What if creatures with frostbite take 5 damage at the start of the turns and have disadvantage on concentration checks? -1 action. Yeah, that's kind of cool. What if creatures with frostbite take 5 damage at the start of their turns and have disadvantage? So I think the Blizzard aura might just be that. Creatures with a frostbite take 5 damage at the start of the turn. But I mean we could just add like at that point we might just be overcomplicating it. Right. So frostbite, -1 action and take 5 damage at the start of your turn. That's what frostbite is. So maybe his Blizzard aura can apply frostbite. Applies frostbite somehow. That's cool. So I think because he has so many different ways to reduce damage, I think we do need to change his armor from heavy to medium. Otherwise, this is going to be quite a slog of a fight. Ooh, unable to heal until warmed up. I feel like healing would also warm you up though. Like if you have like frostbite, like yucky toes, and you like get magical healing, like that would also fix it. But maybe it has to be a certain amount. Because we do have this spell. Where is it? Let's go to our healing spells. Heal. If 5 or more mana is spent, okay, so it does require 5 or more mana to be spent. You can heal like some negative condition, like frostbite. So maybe it is redundant having that, but yeah, let's remove the healing. The healing fixes it for now. We'll playtest it and see how it feels. Okay, -1 action take 5 damage at the start of their turns. Ends upon taking fire damage. Fire or radiant damage? No, let's just say fire. Or moving at least, let's just say 30 feet. In 1 turn. Frostbite. -1 action. Take 5 damage at the start of your turn. Ends upon taking 5 damage and moving at least 30 feet. Let's just, yeah, 30 feet. Okay, that's fine. I like how that works. So Blizzard aura. Ooh, maybe. Maybe he has medium armor. I do miss the icy veins. Icy veins. Fire or... where did that go? I think I deleted something I wasn't supposed to. Icy veins. What was it? Fire or fire or bludgeoning critical hits are vicious. There you go. VICIO. So they have to crit first. I like that. Fire or bludgeoning critical hits are vicious. When this happens, adjacent creatures gain frostbite. I think that's a pretty clever. You did delete the whole chunk up there, yeah. Well, that happens. It's still up here at least. So icy veins, fire or bludgeoning crits are vicious against you. When this happens, adjacent creatures gain frostbite. I'll rephrase it. I think I can phrase it a little bit better, but I think that's kind of cool. Is that enough? Is that, I don't know. Blizzard Aura applies frostbite. Somehow. So frostbite, is it easy enough to get out of that? I think so. I think so. Ooh, yeah, maybe he can do something against reflect the icy blindy thing. So I think Double King was the one who was saying, and in the YouTube rewind, yeah, that's true. I recall in the past you felt damage over time abilities bleed were a bit much to track. I've been here for most of this. What differentiates the damage of time in frostbite from bleed? Yeah, I mean you're not wrong. So there are some abilities like that, let me see, like this guy. So creatures within 30 feet take 5 necrotic damage at the start of their turns. So there are some abilities like that. Like it's good. It's good for that kind of thing to happen sometimes when I can get out of it. Like my turn starts. Okay, the GM says you take 5. You take 5 cold damage or whatever. So that is different than like something like acid arrow, where like it needlessly spreads things out. So you can get out of this if you want to, but if you don't, you're going to keep doing this thing. So Josh Ron, hey, good to see you, man. So yeah, I don't know if I want him to deal cold damage to this. Yeah, so I think just -1 action is enough. -1 action is enough. I think you're not wrong about that. He can deal his cold damage some other way. Maybe this can be like glorious. Brilliant reflection or something like that. Like I'll come up with a better thing. Something like something that blinds, or I feel like he might have enough ways to mitigate damage. Let's see. Does he have enough? Does he indeed have enough ways to mitigate damage? His bite dazes, inflicts frostbite, which mitigates damage. His call avalanche mitigates damage. His moving claw doesn't. That's fairly straightforward. So does he need an additional way to mitigate damage? I don't know if he does. I apparently don't know how to tag on YouTube. Can you tag on YouTube? That's cool. It was great. It was a Nimble section. Oh, nice. They faced off against some fire newts. Nice. You don't stream, do you, Josh? Wouldn't mind checking that out. I would say you're not tracking it individually by play. You're just triggering based on the DM's ability as it happens on his turn. Yes, it does make sense to remove the individual damage per player. Yeah, this guy doesn't need additional damage. Like, he doesn't need damage over time. He's not doing like weird stuff. Like, if you're cold, like being cold doesn't deal you damage. Like getting like having an avalanche land on your face deals damage, but like, claws and bites deal damage. But like just having frostbite, like you don't really feel it. What if there was? So I did want some ability where frost armor that breaks after some point when crit or bloodied. Yeah, that's something that we were thinking already. I did nix that already. Maybe it'll come back. It was one on paid game, so no. Yeah, okay. I wouldn't mind streaming with him, and I think they'd be down. But we're 50 sessions. Yeah. It might be a little bit weird. Frostfang is being a little bit more of a difficult build than I thought. Okay, maybe let's put a pin in this. So I'm going to add another note here, and let's go to the other one. I think maybe talking about the other one might be a little bit more fun at this point. So heavy armor that can be shattered. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Bloodied, he gets a blizzard aura. We'll see. All right, so let's pause there. Like whenever I get stuck, it's good to just sort of cook on it a little bit. I'll get some better ideas later. So the level 20 big bad, and I think I'll probably have some cool ideas once I get the art, but I did commission it, and I think I'm getting sketches for her next week. And this artist is very, very good. I'm super excited about this. I think she's a Filipino. Not that matters, just a fun fact that I knew about. So Karis, the Hollow Star. So this is going to be a humanoid type of creature. So she is going to be level 20 solo, medium. So it's a medium-sized creature, just like a person who like learned too much magic. Starting from the fiction, always a good thing to do, Terry. I like the idea of it freezing / restraining everyone to go back and eat those human popsicles. Maybe a big attack versus a restrained dude. Do we have a slowdown or environmental difficult terrain because of the snow? Yeah, maybe. Let's just make one more note. You guys are drawing me back. Stacks of frostbite. Advantage against slowed creatures. So yeah, getting advantage against slowed creatures is cool. Yeah, maybe that could be stacks of frostbite. -1 action per stack. Ooh, that could be nasty. That could be nasty. That would fit very well with Blood Eater, Last Stand, like everyone else gets frozen. Yeah, that'd be cool. Everyone gets frozen for a round while Frostfang gets to do something. Yep, that'd be cool. Yeah, let me show you. Let me see if I can find a piece of this girl's art. Just so you guys can see like what we're dealing with here. Let's see. What was her name? Her name, I think it's Justine. Yeah, Justine. All right. Stand by, everybody. Oh, it's so good. And I'll actually show you guys the piece that that won me over. Copy. There you guys. Oop. I did it wrong. Copy. Paste. Does that work? Oh, that worked. Okay. Look at that art. Can you guys see this, right? So this one of the pieces by Justine. And like, look at this cool blade here. Like, how awesome is that? So she's going to be designing our world-ending boss, or drawing it at least. How cool! How absolutely cool! I'm super excited about this. She's got a bunch of other art too, but some of it's a little bit spicy. Copy. Look at this one. I think this is Elspeth from Magic the Gathering. Oh man, look at that! Isn't that such beautiful art? Like really cool. She's really talented artist. I wish I had the time to draw like that, but alas. That's okay. I've got time to do other things. There we go. Isn't that like perfect? Isn't that perfect? Like, look at that art. Wow. That is so good. So I basically I told her like go nuts, like make this like the scariest. And I can actually I'll show you guys the brief that I sent her also. I wanted to go for sort of like a Raven Queen Vecna type of vibe, but I don't know, like I told her like do whatever you want. Will this work? Oh, that works too. So this is a brief that I just put together, like, but I told her like don't like be constrained by anything like this, but like this is probably like the kind of direction that we're going. Can you drop a link to art? If you just search her name, you can find it. Justine Florentino. Justine Florentino. But some of ours is a little bit spicy. So I don't know if I don't know if I drop a link to it, but I'll definitely tell you her name. So like this is probably the vibe that that we're gonna get, like a little bit spooky, a little bit cool. Like I don't know what it's gonna look like. She's gonna send me some sketches next week, and usually they'll send like 3 or 4, maybe 5 sketches, and then we can sort of decide between those, decide on the direction. But yeah, man, I'm super duper excited about that. All right, so I'll come back to old Frostfang. He's being a little bit weird. So I want this to be, so she's the hollow star. So let's come up with some like ideas. So as far as moving, she doesn't move, she teleports. There will be no opportunity attacks against her. She teleports. That is her mode of movement. And it might be like a wormhole. Like maybe we might have like gravity vibes. So like right now we're sort of just like we're vibing. Okay, gravity vibes, plasma, radiation, like yeah, that kind of things. Like so, like what do you think of when you think of stars? Like collapsed stars. Singularity, like we're looking for cool words. Forced movement, crushing, like yeah. Straight up killing heroes. Yeah, so like this is going to be a level 20 solo monster. She's going to have the power to like just straight up kill heroes. Time dilation. Oh. Yep. Time dilation. Yep. That's cool. She can make heroes re-roll attacks, crits. Yeah, she can just make heroes re-roll crits against her. Like rewind time, try it again. That's kind of cool. that might be like her like ability. She might have like 2 or 3 abilities. She will need a weakness or like some way to attack her. But right now we're definitely just vibing. So the goal for her is, so let's just make like a big goals up here. Goal for her. So goals for her are almost impossible for an unprepared party. So like this like requires multi-class, like, so how many people are actually going to fight this? Like a tiny fraction. I want I want someone to read this and be like, oh man, like, oh, that is nasty, like that kind of stuff. Right. So this is shock and awe type of thing. It's like all of the other monsters, like they're fair fights, you know, up or down. You can tweak them, but I want this fight to be something for the optimizers, like something so that like Treant Monk and like the other dudes, the D4 Deep Dive and Pack Tactics, like those type of guys would need to get together and like put their heads together. Like, how can we take her down? I don't want some average party to be able to take her down. Yeah, Colby. Yep, he eats the dice of the player. Yeah. So I want this to be a fight where that type of person who like really enjoys the puzzle will like they should, like, it shouldn't be like a bajillion hit points. I deal 1,000 damage every attack. It should be like possible, but only after like attempting it once or twice, or like really strategizing, or you know, that kind of thing. Eats the dice the player. JOA, you win tonight. You win the comments tonight. So does that make sense, you guys? Like the kind of vibe that we're going for. So almost impossible for an unprepared or unoptimized party. So she's got 4 stacks of advantage on all saving throws. Let's do a little bit of math before we get too crazy. Okay, let's do a little bit of math. Okay, so let's do. Sorry. We don't want dice run. We want the other one. What's the other one? I never remember. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this one is the dice probability calculator. So we want it to dice at least one die greater than or equal to X. And by level 20, there's the saving throws of the heroes is probably going to be like 18, like on the order of 18, maybe 17. But if they're optimized, it'll be 18. So yeah, let's stick with 17. Okay, so we're going to say D20. So she would roll once normally, but if she rolls 4 extras, that'll be 5. So what's the probability? So even with 4 stacks of advantage, she would only save roughly 67% of the time. What if we have one more? 67, 73, yep. Yeah, rolling 6 dice, that'd be 5 stacks of advantage. Yeah. That is a lot of advantage, but at very, very high levels, and I might need to tweak some of these other high level guys so that they don't just like Gloomwing. I should definitely have at least 2 stacks of advantage. Yeah. Yeah. She has the last stand. If she's not killed by a certain time, she resets to full. Yeah. Yep. That's cool. In 3 turns, she... Yeah, something like that. That's cool. That's cool. Edward says, "Don't forget to leave a like if you can." Yeah, it does. It does help. But I mean, that's not really why I'm doing this. Just sort of hanging out and cooking with you guys. Wall of light, wall of force. You see stars. Gravity lensing, a way to redirect attacks. Yep. Redirect attacks. Gravity lensing. Oh, you guys still see this? Let's look up what gravity. What's gravity lensing? Gravity lens. Gravitational lensing. There it is. A phenomenon that occurs when a massive object like a galaxy cluster warps space and time, causing light from a distant object to bend and appear distorted. Interesting. Okay. It's a lot of advantage. It is. But like, do we really want there's no spells that are like just super duper broken, but there are spells like Unspeakable Word, and again, maybe this is a problem. I'm sorry, let me turn off gravitational lensing. Do we want her to drop to 0 hit points on the first? I don't know. Well, if something that's time reversal related can be triggered to reverse the order of initiative from that point. Yeah, I still do want people to play. I don't want it to be too meta. Okay, so stay with me here. I love it already, Warren. An underpowered group comes in with some mirrors and uses those to navigate because they can't look at her directly. What? You might have to explain what that means just a little bit. I don't know what that means. So Unspeakable Word. So rather than this, it might be like deal damage to like a target within 60 feet dies on a failed will save. Feels exactly the way I want it to feel. But when we have very, very strong targets, do we want them to just die, especially if it has this upcast type of thing? Do we just want them to like keel over and die because you said one word? No, she would know the word, right? She would know the word. So maybe it's like deal damage equal to your maximum hit points to them. Maybe it's like that kind of thing, ignoring armor. So I think Unspeakable Word is the problem rather than rather than giving like plus, I think 3 plus, 3 pluses might be enough. We'll see. Because she's adding nothing to it. Let's keep cooking. Okay, so Black Hole is her last stand, yeah. Time dilation. Ooh, what if she aged the players? Each turn spent, each Okay, this. All right, you guys go with me here. When at the beginning of each round, all heroes. Ravages of time. All heroes suffer 1 wound. Every round you just suffer a wound. No save, no ifs, ands, or buts. You're just aged. How cool is that? So there's a hard cap on how long you can fiddle around with her. Event Horizon. That's just a cool name. It's a cool name. It's a little bit spacey, a little bit sci-fi. Heroes. Hey Maya, by the way. But yeah, I'm sure this is riddled with typos and all sorts of things. This is really just like stream of consciousness notes that we're doing right now. Does anybody know Treant Monk's name? I don't know. True. So the goal is a true challenge for those guys. So that's the goal. I think we can do that without it being like I smack you for a bajillion, everybody dies. Spelling correction: heroes to heroes. Yeah. And sometimes it's Hero apostrophe S, like, and sometimes it's with another E, like heroes is a surprisingly difficult word to spell. Is there an updated timeline for the finished GM guide and adventures? So the rest of the adventures, I'm waiting on the one of the writers, Alex Damasceno. I'm waiting on one of the writers to finish up some of the things, but I do have, so those parts are much further along now. We've got a lot more content and points of interest. We've got more art and stuff. So like there's a lot more points of adventuring hooks and encounters and locations in the Elder Wild and some of these different areas. So we're much further along, but I'm waiting on the completed things before I spend too much time noodling on it. So hopefully soon. Baby boy say, "Ah, man, sorry, Twin Steel. That stinks." Twisted reflection, make a temporal copy of one player. I like that, but I like the idea, but I don't want to. I don't want to have to manage that as the GM. Maybe that player controls them. That's kind of cool. You know what? No, I think that would create too many scaling problems because I still do want this possible for like a party of like 2 or 3 or 4, and not just a party of 10. So like that would be like crippling to a party of 2 if you make a duplicate of one of the heroes. If it's a party of 10, you make a duplicate of one of them, then it doesn't really matter. So that would create some serious scaling issues. Looks like a great caster for reverse gravity or enhanced gravity. Immobilize from your own weight on strength save. Double King's back. Double King, hey man. Hope dinner was great. We're cooking on Karis, the Hollow Star. Could be minion. Yeah, I don't know. There was a cool idea. Yeah, gravity. So yeah, you have to have some way to fly or something to deal with her. She could just like eliminate or double gravity. Eliminate, reverse, or double gravity. So she sees you coming, gravity's reversed, you're yeeted out into space. See ya. That's cool. Or doubled. That's cool. Yeah, like everybody's knocked prone. It takes 2 actions to stand up. That kind of thing. That's cool. Salad with blueberries. Oh, chicken. Was that salad with chicken on it? Or was that chicken salad? Was it like a mayo sandwich? Because some people make chicken salad and they'll put like raisins in it. Ugh. When she dies, the heroes must do a dex save and run away from her event horizon. If they fail, they get 3d20 damage and roll dex again. Spaghetti fight. Chicken dash salad with blueberries in it. Ooh, okay. I don't know. It's a winner. All right. I mean, like, I like pineapple on pizza, so it sounds weird until you try it. Let's keep cooking. Event Horizon. I think Event Horizon might be a little bit too sciencey. So like, we don't need to go too hard on the star bit, but like she could like cast like tier 9 spells. She could just cast tier 9 spells. And then we can have like a bloodied 1 and then a bloodied 2. Like she can have like 3 phases. Bloody phase 1. Maybe she turns into a dragon. Maybe she just takes on a dragon form. Bloodied phase 2. Let's see what she would do. She would just know all the spells. Seething Storm. She might Seething Storm. Arctic Annihilation. Dragon form. Gangrenous Burst. That's kind of cool. Doesn't feel on brand. Ooh. Like, what if she marked someone else with Warding Bond? What if she marked someone else with Warding Bond? They just take half the damage she takes. That's pretty cool. That's kind of cool. We're definitely, this is definitely just stream of consciousness. All of these ideas may not stick, but we're just sort of going with cool ideas. Condemn, vengeance, sacrifice. None of those really feel. Wind might make sense. 1,000 cuts. Ooh, she could do like an updraft type of thing. Like, what was that guy from Naruto who did like the push and pull thing? Who was that guy from Naruto who did the push and pull thing? I know one of you guys will know. Push, pull, Naruto. Bad guy. Pain. Almighty push. Yeah. Yeah. Pain. Yeah. So yeah, we could do like an updraft type of thing. I feel like the Echo Knight subclass of fighter could serve as inspiration. Could be. I should put almonds in it. Hey, I'm with you on almonds, man. You all right? I'd try it. Star worm form. Yeah. Yeah. Instead of dragon form. JP Couvert, if she has gravity powers, maybe she can mess with time, like rewind turns and stuff. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we have a thing where like maybe when she's crit, she can like reverse time and make the guy re-roll or something like that. But yeah, definitely some time shenanigans. I'm just gonna call it Almighty Push, just so that I remember what in the world I'm talking about. So you'd roll saves until. Sorry, my honey was reminding me of something. We're doing a family thing tomorrow. So you'd roll. Oh, let me turn this off so you guys can see. So you'd roll saves until you save. That's cool. Then take fall damage. I'll take 2x. So it would be like an Uber updraft. You're pushed up to take damage, and then you're slammed down, taking twice as much fall damage. That's pretty sweet. Speaking of elements, check out the loot table on the homebrew channel. Number 57 is dedicated to you. What is it? Do I have to pull that up? The loot table. You're gonna have to send me a link to that, Orlando. I don't know if I'll be able to find that. That works way better than reversing initiative. Yeah, still good to play, but undoes a turn to redo it. Yeah, like undoing a whole turn? That might feel too bad. Like the idea is cool. The idea is really, really cool, but that might feel a little bit too bad. Infinity Stone powers could be inspiring. Infinity Stone powers? What are the Infinity Stone powers? Oh, they're not going to show it? All right, they're not going to show it. Infinity Stone powers. What are the Infinity Stone powers? Mind Stone. Ooh, can control the minds. Manipulate reality. Oh, there's 2 more rules. Oh, you guys can't see that. There's one, this. Space, mind, reality, blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right, I like this other page better because it was... No, just show me all of them. There we go. Mind Stone allows you to control the minds of others. Kind of like that. The Reality Stone, also known as, okay, their name, manipulate matter and alter reality. Okay. Power Stone, energy, lots of energy. Also known as coffee, the power beam. The Time Stone allows the user to control and manipulate time. Oh, we got that. Manipulate the soul of a person. Maybe that's like a necrotic thing. Manipulate space, teleport, and create super weapons. That's kind of cool. Okay, so forcing others to interpose for her is cool. She teleports right out of the way. They teleport into the thing. I don't think we can send links. I tried to send you the homebrew template. Why can't you send a link? Like on you can send me a link on Discord or ping me on Discord. Oh, you can't put a link here in chat? I don't know what to do about that. It's probably for spammers. Almighty push. Yeah, that was so cool. So yeah, we definitely have a lot of ideas. So her stat block is probably going to be, it's not going to be a full, it's not going to be a full page. It's probably going to be like this big. So that's why I sort of have her as a two-page spread. So her stat block is going to be bigger than others. No beta sharing. I want to see it. Double King, sending me stuff. Loot tables. Let's check this out. Copy link. All right. Let's turn that on so we can see it. Turn that on. Loot tables. Which one was it? Was it 50 something? 57. 57. Open browser. There we go. 57. Jar of almonds. A small note that reads belongs to Syed Naif. I know who that is. That's my evil twin. If my evil twin had it, it would definitely be. It would definitely not be almonds because almonds are good. Almonds are good. It would be something else. It would be like a jar of olives or a jar of something else, something bad. A jar of licorice. I don't know. That's cool. I love that. I love the lore that's developing around around the game already. Cool. So I think we might have enough cool ideas already. Jar of pickles. I like pickles, unless it's sweet pickles. Unless it's sweet pickles. Let's get some inspiration from a new book. Let's get inspiration from a new book. Doesn't Forbidden Lands have some cool stuff in it? Chud's here? Hey, Chud. I didn't realize that was you. That was you talking. Didn't recognize your voice. Let's just do a little bit of looking at some Forbidden Lands stuff, just to get some inspiration. Because why not? Forbidden Lands. Turn that up. So we'll cook just a little bit longer, then we'll go to bed. So there's the int. Ooh, the bloodling. The bloodling looks cool. Slashing thrust. Okay, so incorporeal form. In the form of mist, the bloodlings are immune to all types of physical violence. As soon as they materialize physically, they can be hurt. Ooh, you guys, let's think of some cool weaknesses for her. That like I think weaknesses are even excuse me, are even cooler than other some cool weaknesses too. The first weakness is definitely going to be friendship. If we know anything about anime, first weakness is friendship. If there's a space/time opponent solo that removes a lot of options, for instance, she can't summon a major hitter to deal with the players. I mean, she can do whatever she wants to do. She can do whatever she wants to do. And I don't want to lean too heavy on the whole star thing. Like, that was just a cool name that I thought up. But I think it being themed generally that direction is fine. But every ability definitely doesn't need to be that way, because it's still like in this sort of fantasy environment. Okay, so weaknesses. We've got weaknesses in the back of our mind as we're thinking. Weaknesses: prone to monologuing, obviously. Sensitive to light. Okay, bloodlings loathe strong light and attack with a torch. Ooh, maybe that's why she's a hollow star. Maybe she's sensitive to light. Maybe. Oop. Type it in the wrong thing. Light, sensitive to light. That's why she's hollow. That's why she's hollow. Light makes her mortal. Okay, so like without light, like you just can't deal damage. That's cool. Bloodling. Double stab, life extraction. Oh, wait, let's show our book again. Light radiant? I don't know. We'll see. She could be weak to cold iron since stars die when they fuse to iron. It's interesting. I don't want to punish classes too much, like the spellcasting classes. I mean, spellcasting classes do other cool things. But that is cool. Life extraction. The demon embraces. Oh, there's a demon. Okay. An adventure within near range, and a deadly embrace and tries to suck her life out through the mouth and eyes. Ugh. So like that little bit of that little bit like of extra flavor. Deadly Embrace, okay, flavor. Tries to suck her life out, okay, more flavor. Through the mouth and eyes. Okay, roll a fear attack with 12 base dice. All right. Let's keep Abyss Worm. The ground shatters. Ooh, there we go. The Abyss Worm dives into the ground, and who made Forbidden Lands? Oh, this is Free League. And they don't like put like who, well, like which writers were doing this, right? Oh, they do. Lead designer Thomas, or maybe just Thomas Herenstam. Pretty good writer. Setting adventure sites, illustrator, other writers. Cool. The ground shatters. The Abyss Worm delves into the ground and uses its mass to shatter the ground. Oh, around the adventurers, everyone with a near range falls 2d6 meters and lands prone. That's sweet. Shatter the ground. Everybody lands prone. The sky darkens. The giant worm rises into the sky. What? It blocks the sun with its huge mass, then lets its body fall onto the adventurers to crush them. So I think she might need a little bit of flavor, because I'm digging this flavor. Weak to the gravity-defying powers of a tungsten cube. Yep, just those holes. Eyes and mouth. Low pan glow vibes? What is low pan glow? Okay, the sky darkens. Then it lets its body fall onto the adventurers to crush them. Have everyone roll for a move to get out of the way. Does not count as an action. Everyone within near range is thrown to the ground. Anyone who fails their move roll is also hit by an attack with 12 base dice and weapon damage 1. That's cool. Hideous Bite. The worm throws itself against an adventurer and shuts its giant maw. Roll for the attack with 9 base dice and weapon damage 2. If the attack succeeds, the adventurer is pushed to near distance. Okay, another 3 roar attack. Bite every, scare everybody. I like the Abyss Worm. Okay. Ooh, let's look at the dragon. Dragons in this game have to be cool. Page 66. Oh, no, that's D66. Let's go to, I assume it's around the Ds. Demon. Death Knight. All right, let's look at the Death Knight first, everybody. Man, look at this art. Like, how creepy is that? Pretty creepy art. Big Trouble in Little China. Oh, no, I've seen that. Oh, I was little when that movie was out. It's been a long time. It reminded me of Mortal Kombat. Power attack. In Deathly Science, the Death Knight swings his weapon in a powerful attack against an adventurer. Perform an attack with 12 base dice and damage one of the weapon. If the attack does damage, the adventurer is thrown to near range and tossed to the ground. The attack can be parried. That's not that good. All right, let's go to Deathly Visions. The Death Knight falls to its knees. Yeah, like something with visions. Like, before I even read that, like, just reading the name of the ability. Visions. I didn't know I could do that. Look at that. I can change things by... I can change things with the arrows. That's cool. Visions. Glimpse the future? Like, glimpse the horror of the future? Like that kind of thing? Glimpse your end. Something like that. That'd be cool. Like some psychic damage or something. So, Visions is cool. Deathly Visions. The Death Knight falls to his knees and makes a gesture toward the ground. In the next moment, A temporary gate to the kingdom of death is opened, and the chosen adventurer within near range is attacked by a score of screaming phantoms who tear at the unlucky soul and calls its name in anguish. Ooh. Fear and a bunch of damage. Oh, man. Crippling cold. An unlucky adventurer stares directly in the horrible gaze of the night as a wheezing sound is heard from the creature's throat. Okay, so wheezing is not scary. Wheezing is funny. Wheezing is funny. Maybe like a rattling, unsettling sound would be better. The attack works as a paralyzing poison with potency 8. Oh, that's interesting. That's a cool way to do something. Sweeping attack attacks a few things. A dead man's hand. Lifts its hand and makes a gesture after with adventure. With a near is lifted from the ground. Oh, it lifts his hand and adventure is lifted from the ground and thrown. It's kind of cool. What have we got going on? My bad. You said you're on a big movie person. Yeah, I'm real. I'm not. I just don't have time to watch movies recently. Pulp Adventures. Yeah, sold. I'm thinking of a combo effect. So two simple things like darkness and fear effects in one stack. When I say fear, that's more of an effect of fear. They can't approach because of gravity, not fear. Yeah. Ooh, here's dragons. Attributes. Okay, so this guy's attributes 12, 3, 3, 2. 32 strength. Oh, man. How much was the worm? Okay, so the worm was strength 18. Okay, so this is the big worm. Okay, so this dragon is not playing around. Whatever this thing is. It's 32 strength. Man, I don't even know what that means, but like that just seems like a lot. Claw attack. The dragon sweeps with his claws against 2 adventurers. 10 base dice, 2 damage. Okay. Dragon roar. Everyone is feared. Dragon wind flaps his great wings and creates a powerful gust of wind that strikes every adventure. So far, I'm not impressed by the dragon. So anybody who has played Forbidden Lands, can you tell me what strength 32 means? Does anybody know what that means? The dragon flaps his great wings, perform an attack with 6 base dice against each adventurer. The attack cannot be dodged. Fire attack. The beast spews out a cone of fire, striking the adventurer with the highest strength. Ooh, I do like that. How it gives some direction on like who it's attacking. Like attack the dumbest one, attack the strongest one, attack the tallest one, that kind of thing. I like that. If the attack succeeds, they suffer the same amount of damage every subsequent round until the fire is put out by making a move roll. Okay, like stop, drop, and roll. That's cool. Edward, what does 32 strength? What does strength mean? Tail attack. Sorry if this is spoilers for you, man, but dragons are scary. Tail attack. The dragon sweeps its great tail against the adventurers. Roll for the attack with 8 base dice and weapon damage 1. Okay, it's just damage and alright. Firestorm is a cool name. Firestorm is a cool name. Firestorm is a cool name. Firestorm. Oh boy, like having like different, like being able to like do different elemental things is pretty sweet. Like maybe Karis, it does something like this. Round 1, do this. Round 2, do this. Round 3, do this. Like maybe her fight is much more structured. Maybe it's gonna be something like that. I think it might be, because like the stat block's getting longer. I can't be looking at the whole stat block. It needs to be like do this, then this, then this. And maybe they can build off of each other, but I think she might have to be an exception. Like once it gets so complicated, we need a little bit more structure to it. Okay. Firestorm. The dragon rises above the adventurers in all its glory and lets out an annihilating storm of fire. All adventurers within short range are targeted by an attack that with 12 base dice and weapon damage 1. So I've been seeing like a bunch of creatures deal this much damage, and like 12 base dice and weapon damage 1. What does that mean? That has to be more than what I think it means. If the attack hits, the victim suffers subsequent damage. Oh, okay. As from a fire attack above. Okay. This attack can only be used once per combat. Gotcha. I'm not 100% sure how monster stats work. I'm a player. Okay, but for PC, it's how many die they roll. It may, for a monster, it may be how much damage you need to do. Let's just see. I mean, we're already off on in the weeds. Might as well roll around a little bit. Bestiary. Monsters of combat. Monsters. So, Edward, feel free to mute or don't listen if you don't want to know how monsters work. Monsters are controlled by the GM, generally function like NPCs in combat. Some monsters have wits and empathy, others lack these attributes and cannot take damage to them. Okay, so you take damage to your stats. Gotcha. So it's probably similar to Mouse Ritter then. Yeah. D6s for success. Yeah. That's a Super Free League thing. They love that. That's like their Year Zero engine or something like that, I think, right? Monster attacks. There's an important difference between monsters and other creatures. Monsters can perform monster attacks. Each monster has a unique set of monster attacks summarized in a table. The GM can roll dice or select an attack from the table. Oh, you can roll or select. That's cool. Monster attack is a slow action and has a range of arm's length. If nothing else is stated, each X rolled beyond the first is the X like a 6? Does that mean 6? Each X rolled beyond the first increased the damage done by 1. Rolls for monster attacks cannot be pushed. Gotcha. So just knowing a little bit about how the alien system works is sort of helping me. Monsters don't become weaker when they are wounded. A wounded monster can even be more dangerous. Ooh, the monster's strength is only used to determine how much damage the monster can take before it's broken. Okay, a broken monster is dead or dying. Don't roll for a critical injury. Okay, so that is... Okay, so that's how many hit points it has, I guess. X is a success. Okay, so if you go in rounds and she does all the elements, maybe she would have a weakness to a magic that opposite. Yeah, that's cool. Like her weakness changes. That might be cool. That might be a lot to figure out, but yeah, that'd be cool. By default, a monster can attack once every round. Draw initiative for the monster. Normally, however, if you find your players defeat monsters too easily, you can increase the challenge by letting a monster attack twice or even 3 times per round. In this case, draw 2 or 3 initiative cards for the monster at the beginning of combat. That's kind of cool. And it's cards instead. Fear. Monsters that are themselves so frightening that they cannot suffer from fear. I like this kind of thing rather than like having on a stat block like this is immune to fear. This is like just something that applies to monsters in general. All monsters are therefore immune to fear attacks and spells that can inflict. Okay, so in Nimble, monsters are just anything you fight. It could be like a person, or it could be a this thing, or it could be that thing. So are NPCs and monsters 2 different things? That's what it sounds like. That is kind of weird having like a splash page right in the middle of, like in the middle of a paragraph. There's a splash page. Kin. Okay, these are kin. Let's look at the... I feel like I'm trying to solve a mystery. The Game Master. Principles of the game. Non-player characters. Values. Kin. Calendar. Let's look at NPCs. Page 9. Monsters and NPCs are different. If you go in rounds, we did that in beasts. Okay, so there's NPCs, beasts, and monsters. Are beasts NPCs or are they something else? I do like this advice. If you can, try to avoid important non-player characters dying early on. An NPC that survives can come back and can come back. An NPC that survives and can come back is much more fun than a dead NPC. When an inconsequential NPC becomes broken, you can simply decide that he is dead. But for important NPCs, you should roll for critical injuries, just like you would for a player character. Most likely they'll survive, and most of the time there's someone around who can save them, even if they've suffered a fatal injury. Okay. So you don't die when you jump to 0 hit points necessarily. Cool. Also avoid the PCs being able to get to an important enemy too easily. Feel free to block their path with underlings the PC will have to deal with first. If the adventurers still kill an important NPC, let there be consequences. Allies NPC may be out for revenge. Ooh, good GM advice. Maybe their underlings now turn to the adventurers and view them as their new leaders. Ooh, even better GM advice. That is so cool. All right, I think I'm gonna have to do a video on Forbidden Lands. I'm liking a lot of the stuff that we see. Okay, guys, it is past midnight here in the great state of Florida, so I think we might call it there. I'm gonna keep cooking on these monsters, but we're getting much closer. A lot of the art is finally being finalized. A lot of the numbers are being crunched. Testing continues, and once the bulk of the writing is done, then I'm going to be doing more live testing on Discord. So I'll just be pinging people on Discord, and like whoever's there and like wants to hop in a thing and like do some quick testing with me. Like we can do some impromptu testing for different things as I'm cooking. So expect some of that kind of stuff coming up. But yeah, like at this point, it's mostly like organizing some of the GM advice, filling out some of the common monsters, filling in like 2 or 3 of the other guys, and then the adventure. And we're gonna be done. And it's gonna come to probably 120 pages, somewhere around there. We're at 113 right now. Maybe some of those be cut. Oh, hey, actually, before everybody starts to drop, one question that I had. What do you guys think of? So initially in the backer kit thing, there were softcover books that you could just get by themselves, or hardcover books that were in the box set. The price between the softcover books and the hardcover books at the scale that we're able to get to is not that much. So I was considering just upgrading all of the softcover books to hardcovers. Do you think anybody would be upset by that, or is that just sort of just seen as just a strict upgrade? All hardcover. Like, that's what I think, but like, do you think crazy if they are? All right, I'll tell them to talk to JP if anybody thinks that's a bad idea. As in a pullout, I don't want to get people's hopes up. Like I think a smaller group is a little bit safer to ask. Because I don't want people to be upset if they don't get it. There was those 3 guys who were upset. I'd be good with it, but I already backed out hardcover. Softcover's a nice to fall asleep with, Angela. That's true. I'll put on a message in the back of kit. Yeah, I might just go ahead and do it. I don't know. I'll think about it. Do what you feel like. Yeah. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out. It's been fun. Personal fan of floppy books, but teach their own. Wouldn't mind. The binding on both of them is going to be the same. It's going to be Smithsonian binding, so it's going to open up. It'll open up floppy, But better to ask. But if people are playing these books, they'll want hardcovers. Yeah. Yep. Okay, guys. All right. Hope you guys have a good night.